Hello and thanks for joining me for the Culture Show. Today, fairy forests, whispering mountains, the fallen towers of ancient kings and spirit-filled lakes. For more than 30 years, the fantasy art of Charles Vess has been acclaimed worldwide. He's best known for his illustrations in the novel Stardust, which was made into a film with Michelle Pfeiffer and Robert De Niro. He's here in Paris for a retrospective into his work at the Daniel Magan Gallery. I'm pleased to say that he joins us now. Welcome to France 24.
Thank you.
Now, 30 years in the business, you've worked on some of the biggest characters around, like Spider-Man.
Yes.
For example, you started drawing at a very young age. Tell us how you found fantasy art.
With a crayon and a wall. I've just always been drawn to those type of stories, mythic, fairy tale, folklore stories with forests and trees and romantic princes and princesses. So I enjoy drawing those, and it makes me happy to do so.
Now, nature is a strong theme in your work. Why is it important to you? Why do you love it so much?
Well, it makes me happy to draw a tree. It makes me it creates a great deal of difficulty if I'm trying to draw a car. I enjoy the natural rhythms in the woods. I think people are more relaxed there, and I want my art to make people feel relaxed.
When you look back over the years and over the work that you've done throughout the years, is there anything you notice about your old work compared to the work that you do now?
I can draw better now.
You'd like to think that was the case,
I sure
though.
hope so, yes.
Do you have a favourite piece of work?
Yes, it's featured in the gallery exhibition, The Corn King, and it's an exploration of the Green Man mythology, and in particular, it's the landscape in the painting is from what you see when you sit on my front porch in Virginia, and the leaves that are crowning his head are from all the trees that my wife and I have planted. The corn is out of our garden. I don't know where the man came from. He's certainly not me.
It's a really incredible picture. In some of the work that's in the gallery, your style and subject matter is quite reminiscent of the golden age of illustrations and of late Victorian and Edwardian Britain, when works like Peter Pan were first created. Yes. Do you think that was the pinnacle of artwork for books?
I don't think it's quite the pinnacle, but I love that work. It's very inspirational. There are a number of artists, Arthur Rackham, for instance, the English illustrator, that is a huge influence in the way I think. The books they illustrated are beautiful objects, and I like to make beautiful objects. I've just had a French publisher do an limited edition of Peter Pan that I'd illustrated a number of years ago in a large size, and each one has an individual drawing in them.
Now, the work that you do is part of sort of fantasy art, and you also work on comics. All of that is very popular here in France. Everyone seems to love it, but in the UK, in the United States, it's way more cult. Why do you think that is?
It's not quite cult, but I do a work that has more of a mainstream audience to it than most superhero. I don't really enjoy superhero storylines. They usually are solved by who has the biggest fist, and I don't really think of going through life like that. So I work with the mythology, and that's what I do.
Just one last question, because we are running out of time, but the book Stardust, probably the book you're best known for,
yes,
was made into a film a few years ago. Lots of fantasy fiction is being made into films. What did you make of the film? when it was made?
Well, the most any creator can do is hope they're not embarrassed by the film that's made from your book, because it'll always be different than the book. I actually quite enjoyed the movie. There are many things that I would change if it was my movie, but as it was done by the director, it was quite fun, and it made my book sell very well.
Okay, Charles Vess, thank you so much for coming in and speaking to us here on France 24.
Thank you for having me.
And that exhibition at the Daniel Magan Gallery here in Paris goes on until the 9th of October.